And we're back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have some technical difficulties. The Dynamic Duo podcast is underway. Episode 3, we're coming at you with some huge trades, big signings, free agency is a go. Let's get straight into it, Mose.
Let's do it. So
All right.
Paul George to the 76ers has been the biggest thing so far, I guess we've seen. Um, so he was obviously on the Clippers these past 5 years, and they have gotten really nothing done when you really think about it.
I,
With him and Kawhi, I mean that all happened when LeBron and AD got together. Him and Kawhi came together. Paul
yeah.
George, a bunch of injuries outside of him, but now he's gone and signed with the 76ers and looks to be a good move. What do you think about that move, signing him?
Yep. Definitely a good move from the Sixers part. Um, they let go of Tobias Harris, done paying him. They actually got someone who's going to contribute, big time plays, big time minutes for the Sixers. I
Mhm.
mean, this is just a shot. They're going for it. They're going for it all. They need to contend. I mean, it's better than them not contending. So, I mean, they didn't
Yeah.
really lose much besides Tobias Harris. They got PG. Uh, Obviously we said like Kelly Oubre back. What do you call it?
Hmm.
Eric Gordon drafted Jared McCain. So they're building
Yeah.
got and Andre Drummond too, backup five, solid. So they're building,
Hmm.
but yeah, PG, solid third option. He said it himself, he's not a number one option anymore. We all know he's not. He's not even really a number two on like a championship. Like that kind of passed like 4 years ago. So
Yeah.
PG, third best player on the team. Maxi's only getting better. And like I said, it really just comes down to Embiid. Is Embiid going to be healthy? Is Embiid going to be the MVP in the playoffs when they need him? Because everyone knows throw out the regular season, playoffs start. That's all that matters. So that's what I got. Definitely a good move for PG and the Sixers.
Yeah. I
And
think it's a great move.
yeah,
So they've had a few stars come and go with Embiid. You know, the process has been going for a while. Ben Simmons obviously was there. They were actually, I mean, they've been top three, four team in the East. I'd say throughout Embiid's career, but they've never gotten over the hump.
yep.
So yeah, like you said, they got Drummond to back him up. They got Eric Gordon. He's gonna obviously do what he does. They got Oubre re-signing. Him and Paul George had some beef in the past. But I think obviously Paul George is gonna be their second or third option on any given night.
Any
And
night.
they're doing what the Knicks have kind of done, and they're getting these wings that can play both sides of the ball. They just because the Celtics obviously showed they have all these wings, and that's what it takes to win.
Yeah.
So Paul George can defend. He's getting older, but he's got two young players beside him, with one of them being probably the most dominant big in the league when he is healthy.
When he wants to.
Yeah, when he wants to be and when he's healthy. So I think it's a great move for Philly. And like we've said before, I mean, they had the money to do so, and they're going all in. They're going all in.
Yeah, exactly. They're going on in. They didn't lose much for him. And yeah, I mean, the best thing that happened to the Sixers was drafting Tyrese Maxey because they got him like a
Yeah, great pick.
steal at 21. And he's just, I mean, he was an all-star. He's only getting better. So, yeah, this is the time to go for it. And they got to now. Because if you're
Yeah.
not contending and you're not in the top, then like you're irrelevant. And so,
Hmm.
yeah, they're going for it. On the flip
Yeah.
side of things,
The Clippers.
the Clippers are screwed.
Yeah. So they
Uh,
got nothing. They
yeah,
got nothing from they. I mean, they could have traded him, um, take on some other contracts, but in reality, I guess they just let him go,
yeah.
and re-signed Harden to a 2-year deal. He's getting older. I mean, we really don't know what I personally don't know what their future holds, but they got Kawhi still, a bunch of injuries. They re-signed Harden, obviously, and then they got Kevin Porter Jr.
Trash.
Um, yeah, I mean, he's just going to be like a Harden 2.0 off the bench. And they got Derrick Jones Jr. from the Mavs. they're trying to get some other wings to, I guess, replace Paul George quickly. But it's just, I don't know. With the West, all these teams getting better, and they're just not going anywhere up, I guess, from here as of
Yeah,
right now.
the West is stacked and the Clippers are just getting worse. Yeah, like we said, they traded away their whole future for Paul George and because they got Kawhi, they signed Paul George right after, traded away everybody, all their picks. So and if everyone's like if they don't, I mean if they get a chip out of it, it's probably worth it. But if they don't, they're
Yeah.
fucked. So they're now in that stage of we are fucked because if you look at it, the Thunder have their 2025 pick, and I'm pretty sure their 2027 pick. So
Yeah.
let's say Kawhi's hurt and the rest of the team is not doing shit. It's just James Harden by himself. The OKC gets their pick. And then let's say they blow the team up in a couple years. OKC gets their pick again. Yeah, they're absolutely screwed from that standpoint.
OKC owns the Clippers as of right now. I mean,
It's ridiculous.
obviously they have all their picks, you said, and they're just a better team already. I mean, you'd think the Clippers would be better right now if the Thunder had all their picks, right?
Yeah, and
They're not.
obviously no one knew Shea was going to be like MVP Shea like 6 years ago. You can't even say that or whatever, but still
Exactly.
traded Shea. Also, one of those picks that they traded has already become Jalen Williams. And like
Yep.
you said, they got their 2025 pick next year. They got their
Yeah.
27 pick. They're just done. The Clippers are screwed, and the only
Yeah.
thing you can do now is just blow it up. Like they don't have any young guys, any promising young guys. They got an old James Harden, an old Kawhi, and honestly, I'm happy to see it because I didn't think it was going to work out in the first place. Maybe in 2019 I did, but ever since then, just never thought it. But yeah, I'm happy to see PG go to a good team, and hopefully the Sixers can make a run because I think it'd be kind of cool to see. The process
Yeah.
finally completed.
Uh-huh. I
We'll see.
think, yeah, it's a great move for Philly, and I think it makes sense for Paul George as well. With all these West teams getting better, he gets to go to the East. Obviously, the Celtics are over there, but
Yeah.
like we said, multiple teams are getting better, but especially the Mavs.
Yeah.
Get into that.
Let's talk about it. Let's
Yeah,
absolutely talk about it. The man
big,
himself.
big get for them. Klay Thompson.
Man, dude, that jersey looks weird already.
Oh my God.
I think that might be the ugliest Mavs jersey they have too. So
Yeah. Who
they did
stamped that on
wrong
him?
on this. Uh, but dude, yeah, this is
It's
gonna be
big.
interesting. I think it's what'd you say?
I said, I mean, yeah, it's big. It's a
Yeah,
big
it's
move.
huge. There were reports are that Klay was done with the Warriors for months now. We kind
Hmm.
of saw him in his like the last regular season game. Like he went out on the court, you know what I'm saying? He stayed like one last time, taking a good look at it. And I
Yeah.
and I mean looking back, like he was really soaking it in and knew that this was coming because he was becoming a free agent. So man, and then also I heard the relationship just went bad. Like obviously he's still gonna be boys with Curry, but I heard just management, all that, it just went bad. So they
Yeah.
just they let him go. They didn't want to give him another deal. He didn't even want to be there. And
Hmm.
get me the hell out. Let me go to a contender. And now he's on the Mavs, which looks great. So
Hmm.
what do you think about it for the Mavs standpoint of how they're gonna look?
Yeah. So obviously, first of all, the Mavs made it to the finals, as we know. Um, and then Derrick Jones Jr. leaves
Yep.
a few days into free agency, and then we see Klay Thompson's time's run out with the Warriors. Great 13 years, four rings, but obviously, as we watched in the finals, the Mavericks had Kyrie and Luka who were getting the points. PJ had one good game in the finals. I mean, they have two lob threat big guys that could play off each other. We know that they needed one more scorer, and I think Klay Thompson fits right into that. Um, he can play the three as he's getting older, a little slower. He can help a little bit on defense, but I just think he fits perfectly on the Mavs squad. He took less money to go there opposed to the Lakers. Two younger stars he's going to play alongside, and they're going to create a lot of room for him. catch and shoot threat, one of the best shooters of all time. So I think him going to the Mavericks is a big move, and some West teams need to watch out because that's instant offense for them.
Yeah, and exactly like Luca is giving you free looks. I mean, these guys on the Mavs are getting wide open threes and a lot of them being dared to shoot. So you're not going to let Klay Thompson shoot. If you do, he's knocking down 35, 40%, and he's just like he's played in the big moments. He's like a movement shooter too, you know what I'm saying? He can you can run plays for him as well
Hmm.
as just he can post up on the wing in the corner and just splash. They didn't have that at all last year and they really didn't lose much. Like Derrick Jones Jr. is like a solid role player, but like he's not doing much for you like to winning a title. Like he can play defense and all that, but you can find defenders and athletes. You can't really find a sniper like Klay Thompson. And I'm not tolerating any Klay Thompson disrespect. Like I know he's not who he used to be, but like they don't need him to be averaging 25, going off for 60. They just need him to snipe threes, keep the defense honest. Like if you're going face guard Klay, Luca and Kyrie are just going for 50. So
Hmm.
shout out to Klay Thompson and the Warriors run. I'm kind of happy it's over, but I used to hate Klay just because he was just a beast. But then I realized this man is actually different. And obviously I was a LeBron fan, still am, but and they were just torching. So the Warriors
Yeah,
run might be over. And it might be a sad day for most, but I really don't
it
care.
is over.
I'm
It
glad
is
to see
over.
that it's over. I'm glad to see. I'll say that right now.
It
Uh,
is over.
I'm not a hater, but and
Yeah,
also, yeah, I want to see Klay Thompson on a better team because you can't like Steph Curry can't just walk away, but a guy like Klay Thompson can. He can go rewrite a little bit of his legacy because people are hating on him right now, and I'm not tolerating the disrespect for Klay Thompson. Like
yeah,
he's easily one of the best players of our generation as far as like 2010s and on. Four-time champ, like you said, 60-point ball, fucking 60 points on 11 dribbles, like name it,
yeah.
you got it. Klay Thompson's a dog. So,
He's done that. He's done that shooting wise because obviously because he has that 60-point game, most threes ever in a game.
yep,
He Yeah, he doesn't deserve the disrespect,
got the
but
record.
it's weird. I mean, he had all those runs with the Warriors going against Kyrie in the finals 3 straight years, one without Kyrie when he left to go to the Celtics. But it's just it's weird seeing all these players that used to go against each other, they team up. It's
Yeah.
just free agency is wild and all these trades you never think are gonna happen. Can never imagine Clay on the Mavericks in that jersey we're looking
Dude,
at right now,
that jersey
but he
looks
is.
ugly,
But
but
yeah,
they got
him
some
and
cold
Kyrie on the
players,
same
but
team,
this is
it's
not
gonna be
one.
lethal. It's gonna be lethal. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
So
And
they're one of the teams that got better.
Kyrie was recruiting them and telling their management to go out and get them. So yeah, the Mavs are doing their thing. They also got a Najee Marshall, solid pickup, bench
Yeah.
like great bench player. He was a dog for the Pelicans coming off the bench.
Hmm.
Be some offense. You know, he's a wing. He can guard a little bit, so that's solid. But yeah, the Mavs are upgrading. The Warriors are just looking horrible. They got
Yeah.
the only thing is they do got good young players, but like we were talking about, they're in between a rebuild and they also have the best player Steph Curry on their team. So like
Yeah.
I don't know what they do. They're kind of screwed, but
Hmm.
yeah, it's the Splash Brothers have run its course. They waived CP. They got that 30 million, so I guess they're
Yeah.
saving a little bit of money, but
They
man,
got rid of him. They
looking
got rid
rough.
of Clay. But I
Looking
mean,
rough.
I would have liked to see them get a player back from losing both Chris Paul and Clay. I
Yeah.
think it's just because I mean they obviously didn't, but yeah, they can't waste Steph Curry's last 3 to 4 good years of him being Steph Curry.
Can't. You
So we'll
can't.
see what they do. But they need to make some changes in the next few days,
Right.
like these other West teams have been doing. And one of those is the New Orleans Pelicans
Let's talk about it, baby.
traded for
Lock
Dejounte
up.
Murray, and that's an out of the blue trade that I did not expect to happen. Um, with all the
Lock
wings they
up.
have, and they didn't lose. Who'd they lose, Jake? They lose anybody in that trade?
Let's talk about it. They lost the boy Larry Nance, Dyson Daniels, and two future first round picks,
Okay.
which those are pretty big. You can't trade consecutive picks, so they just gave them all the picks they could. But
Yeah.
I
But they
mean,
have young players. I mean,
Larry Nance was playing backup center for the Pelicans because they didn't have one. And Dyson Daniels really, I mean, he's a beast, but he just couldn't play that much with how loaded the Pelicans are. So yeah, they didn't lose anybody. So now the question is like,
what do they
first of
give
all,
up?
yeah, who's the center for the Pels? And then second of all, what do they do with all these wings? Because like as great as it sounds, like they they don't need Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum. Like one of those has got to go because they both just are kind of like create their own shot. Like Trey Murphy is a great like floor spacer. Like he can work without the ball. He can just spray threes. But Brandon Ingram doesn't shoot threes. He's a mid-range scorer and he like has to have the ball.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm just starting to think he doesn't really fit on the team. Like I'd rather have Herb. I'd rather have Trey Murphy going forward. I'd rather have Zion going forward. And obviously they got DeJounte now. So yeah,
Hmm.
they're stacked on wings, but like we said, they need a center, maybe a Walker Kessler type. I'm seeing rumors about Walker Kessler. I'm seeing maybe a Jared Allen trade for like Brandon Ingram and like shoot, that
Yeah.
might have to happen. And they would be looking scary. Might be the best defense in the league if they do that. But yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'd
yeah,
say so. You get
stacked move
DeJounte
for the
Murray.
Pelicans.
Obviously, DeJounte Murray's starting, so you don't
100%.
know what you're going to do with McCollum. I mean, but McCollum, for the majority of his career, was a shooting guard. These last few years, he has been playing more on the ball.
Which is not good.
But yeah, which has not been working with what you're looking at in the West. But yeah, I'd say looking at their team with all their wings that they have, they are very close to being a top 5, 6 team. So you got Murray, you got McCollum, Herb Jones is going to play heavy minutes. I think you keep that squad mainly and build around Zion.
Yeah,
Brandon Ingram, he's like I'd give him a comparison to like a DeMar DeRozan. It's just
exactly.
he requires the ball a lot to score and be
Exactly.
effective. And DeMar
And
DeRozan and him are they remind me of like early 2000s players
yeah,
that they get to their spot, take a while to score, and it's just hard to like build a team with shooters around them, especially when you got Murray, you got McCollum, Trey Murphy, but obviously their piece that everyone needs to build around is Zion.
right.
So Zion
And
and Ingram play kind of the same position. So I agree with you on they should trade Brandon Ingram and get, I guess, a center out of it. They got Missy
have to.
from, they got Missy. Is that his
Yeah,
name? Yes, Missy. Yeah, they drafted him in the first round out of Baylor. But
he's not
I don't
coming
think,
in and playing big minutes.
yeah, with their trajectory of their squad at the Pelicans, I think you should trade Brandon Ingram, maybe get a pick and maybe get a Jared Allen type player, a lob
He's
threat, like
huge.
with Zion.
Like, yeah, because you like we got the floor spacing. CJ can shoot it from three. Like a lot of people are saying they want to see CJ gone, but I mean, I think Brandon Ingram's run its course. Like he gets
Yeah.
hurt a lot. I know Zion gets hurt, but Brandon Ingram got hurt, missed like a month, then he came back in the playoffs and got just packed up by the OKC Thunder. And like we said,
Mhm.
he needs the ball. Like he almost needs to be on his own team or something like that. But trade him for Jared Allen, and the Pelicans are looking scary. Like we got,
Yeah.
it's like a good thing. They got too many wings, but it's also like, what are we gonna do? They don't have a big guy. But man, this could be one of the best starting lineups in the league if they get a legit
Yeah.
center. Because you got DeJounte, I guess CJ,
Two
Herb, Zion,
and a center.
and a center, Trey Murphy off the bench. Even though
Yeah.
I would like to see Trey Murphy starting. And
Herb
like,
Jones is just a better defender, like that you would want to start, I guess.
yeah, right. Like he doesn't really make sense to bring off the bench. Like Herb Jones needs to be in like that starting lineup. So maybe like CJ off the bench, but
Good.
you can't start five guys under 6'7". You know
I
what I'm
know.
saying? So they need
Yeah.
that center for
Well,
sure.
we know one thing, and that's that they're doing something over the
Hey,
summer.
they're
They're doing
cooking.
something.
They're cooking. And
No,
yeah,
yeah, they're doing something, but they're gonna do even more with trade
so,
wise.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it would be a crazy lineup, but yeah, one of the two, CJ or Brandon Ingram is gone. And I swear to
Mhm.
God, if Herb Jones, I don't think he will be gone because I saw a thing that said back in like February, the Hawks tried to trade for Herb Jones to give them Dejounte Murray, and the Pels turned it down. I was like, let's
Yeah.
fucking go because Herb is a winning basketball player. He's
Mhm.
not a shooter, but he's a defender, and he'll lock your ass up, and you need a Herb Jones on your team. So now we got Dejounte. He can he's a clutch player. Like he can defend a little bit, but he can get buckets, dish the rock, throw in lobs. Like it's gonna be nice. So the
It's gonna be a
Pelicans are
fun team
making
to
moves.
watch.
And on the other side, the Hawks are just full
Yeah.
rebuild and they really don't know what they're doing. Because look at this. I gotta
Yeah.
pull this up too. So the Hawks obviously traded Dejounte Murray from the Spurs. So this is San Antonio Spurs future draft picks. We're going to look at something right around here, 2025. The Spurs got the Hawks draft pick. So if the Hawks are terrible this year, they don't have their own pick. So they're kind of fucked in that regard. And then also the next year, if they blow it up, I mean, the Spurs are just geniuses. This is just pure peak, just peak management. If they blow it up 2026 the next year, the Hawks have their pick, or the Spurs have the Hawks pick again. So I think Spurs ownership, they knew this shit was going to happen, that eventually it wasn't going to work with DeJounte and Trae Young, and they were going to blow it up. Trae Young might be gone so soon too because he didn't want to play on that god awful Hawks team.
Yeah.
And so they're full rebuild. So
They need
chaos
to go full
happening.
rebuild, and they need to get some picks back by rebuilding for sure.
Yeah, the Hawks
Um,
don't know what they're doing. I don't like the number one pick, but whatever. We already talked about that. But yeah, so
the Pelicans,
lock up.
big,
Pelicans are on the
that was a
rise.
great move for the Pelicans, and we're telling you now, right now, that McCollum or Ingram will be out in the next week or two. One of them's
I
gone.
believe so too. And
One of
yeah,
them's gone.
the whole year we needed Pelicans just needed more offense and a point guard. And we got the point guard. And
Yeah, they get the point guard.
Dejounte,
You talking like you a Pels fan.
I am a Pels fan. I know I'm wearing a
Pelicans
Lakers
fan
hat. I am
and
a Lakers
Lakers.
fan. Nah, I only
Okay,
like
come on.
I mean I like the Lakers a little bit, but I'm a Pels guy just because of that's like the only two NBA games I've been to in the last 10 years.
Yeah,
Let's rock out Pels, flock up. Although I will say I went to the Thunder game and I went to the Suns game, and the offense was terrible from the Pels, and
yeah,
they needed somebody
yeah,
like
yeah. No, they
when.
definitely needed someone like him, and he's definitely going to accelerate their offense and speed. Um,
And I will say, oh, go ahead.
I was no, if you're still talking about the Pelicans, say
Yeah,
what you're gonna
I
say.
was gonna say, yeah. What do you call it? Like when Zion wasn't on the court, they just had no identity and they just did not know what they're doing. So,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, build around Zion. Shoot, I wouldn't be too
Got to.
mad if Brandon Ingram lost, but or if he left. But also CJ's getting a little older. Seems like he always all he cares about is fucking first take these days. So I don't know. But hey, Pelicans are on the rise. Hopefully they make another move. Maybe Jared Allen. That'd be big. And
Yeah, that would
yeah,
be.
they're looking top six in the West lock. Hopefully they end up
I would
better
say
than
so. Yeah, so they're one of those teams that in the West that's getting a lot better, like
cooking.
we've seen in other teams, like the Mavs. But back to the Spurs. So obviously they haven't done much, but they did get Chris Paul
They did get
and
CP.
they got CP3. I don't really know if he's going to start or not. We don't got to cover the Spurs for that long, but obviously they got tons of picks for the future. We talked about they got Stephon Castle, but I guess Chris Paul is going to be their starting center, and it's going to be fun, I guess, for with his passing ability to see what him and Wemby can do. So,
Yeah,
but
no. I mean,
they're still going to be down the road. They're not going to be like that much of an improved West team.
just yeah,
Um,
just he's damn near like a player coach at this point. But yeah,
yeah,
he doesn't have to score. Feed Wemby, teach him some stuff, like,
it's
you
all
know,
he's got to do.
get a little bit better. But again, the Spurs, yeah, teach Stephon Castle a little bit, get a little bit better. But obviously, Spurs are looking for the future. Look how many picks these guys have. It just goes on forever. So they're just set. This is
Wow.
all first and second round picks. I mean, they're absolutely loaded. So yeah, they're building for the future. Wemby's gonna have an absolute breakout year with or without Chris Paul. I was thinking this, but now CP3 just throwing lobs. It's gonna be easy work. Wemby's going for 26 or 28 next year a game. I'll put a bet on it. Shoot, he might be second
Shit.
team All NBA. Like it's gonna be
Oh yeah.
ridiculous.
Dude, he has no ceiling. So
We
Wemby really has no ceiling. So the Spurs, obviously the best pick of the draft last year. But they're gonna take a few years. They're not gonna be really talked about as much, but they'll be on TV because of Wemby. Um, but another team that got
got
a
better.
lot better over the West is the OKC Thunder.
Let's talk about it.
Um, so obviously that trade was an awesome trade. That they traded away Giddey, who didn't even want to be there anymore. He didn't want to play off the bench. Caruso's coming in. He doesn't care if he's off the bench. He doesn't care if he's starting. He fits in perfectly if he is on the bench or if he is starting. They already got Chet, Jalen Williams. They got one of those. They got him from one of those picks they got. Um, so I think their team is looking really good. They got Dort or Caruso starting. Whoever doesn't can be the sixth man off the bench. And then they can slide Chet to the four. And then they put Hartenstein in there at the five, who was low-key a beast for the Knicks.
Yep.
So if you had to rank teams in the West,
They're number
look at
one.
it says first in the West right there. But
That's what
I
they
don't
were
think
last
they're
year.
going down. I think they're definitely going to be a one or two seed in the West for sure. And they're all young, and they're not going to be missing a bunch of games. So getting Caruso and Hardenstein, I
Dude,
mean,
yeah.
those are two big gets, and they
Yeah.
didn't lose anybody, and they're not going to be losing anybody because they're all young and they got hella picks. So,
Because yeah, all they needed was a center and Josh Giddey just didn't fit the lineup. Is a perfect trade to get Caruso for Giddey. Like it
oh
just
yeah,
works out well. But yeah, the only guy they're paying big money to is Shea. We look at this right here.
yeah,
Gordon Hayward, I don't know why the hell they even sign and trade for him, but whatever. But then they
he's
got all these
gone
guys
now.
on. They got at least what, yeah, they got a couple more years of they got 3 more years of Chet on rookie deal. They got a couple more years of Williams on a rookie deal. Like this is
Wallace,
this is
him,
the
Jason
window.
Wallace.
Yeah, Casey Wallace is, and I think he's gonna be a lot better off
Yeah,
the bench. Like they got so many guys. So
Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins. They're all just so young.
yeah, they're so young. They're ready. They had to make this move though because they're like too good to not do anything. So
Oh yeah,
this was a big time move. Getting Hartenstein. Dude is a beast. And they needed a center. Like he can play with or without Chet. You can go big lineups and put Chet at the four.
yeah,
Chet just needs to get more confident and more like experience. Like it was literally technically his rookie year
yeah,
first actually playing. So this is where they usually make the big jump is second and third year. So Jalen Williams and Chet are only getting better. Shea's only getting better. They got the five. Their starting lineup and like their death lineup with Caruso and whoever they want to put in
yeah.
there is deadly. So yeah,
Hmm.
if we're going to like rank teams in the West, just off the top of my head, the Thunder's number one, and then it's a fight between Timberwolves, Nuggets, and Mavs that are fighting for second or third. You know what I'm saying? So
No,
and,
it's
and then the Pelicans are right there.
I don't know. I mean, it's all the young teams because
Let's
I mean,
cook.
we've talked about the Warriors and the Clippers. They're not getting any younger. You gotta keep the Nuggets up there.
Yeah,
But if we were going right now, I think you're right with the Thunder at number one. And I think getting Hartenstein gives them so many options because they have him at the five. Chet played the five this year. So he's probably gonna play the four, which I think
which could be
the Thunder
deadly.
kind of did that trade for Chet. It helps him out because give him more time to get bigger because he's obviously a stick, but he's still a really good player. He's
No,
still a big player, but I mean, he can play the four and stretch out a little bit.
that's what I'm saying.
It's
But
going to
all,
be so hard to score on the Thunder this year.
yeah, dude.
Dort and Caruso guarding their guards, and then you got Chet and Hardenstein down low. And
And
Shea
yeah,
leading steals.
yeah, exactly. And no, yeah, their defense is maniac. I mean, they got all the young guys, but yeah, Hartenstein was a beast for the Knicks.
He was.
They're probably. I mean, they couldn't afford to keep him. I think even though they
No, they
got
couldn't.
even
After
though he
all those
wasn't that
wings.
expensive. But yeah, after all those moves, so on the Knicks side, I don't know who their center is going to be. Mitchell Robinson
Mitch.
might be out, but I mean, yeah, they got to keep him at this point. But yeah, fucking Julius Randle might be gone. Like
I
he's not
know.
a part of the Nova Knicks, so I guess he's getting shipped out, making too
Yeah,
much
probably
money.
so. Shit.
He's just like he doesn't fit their team at all.
He
But
doesn't. He's another one of those guys that kind of reminds me of Ingram with the ball dominant and
Dude, hey, let's talk Knicks while we're at it. I actually
yeah.
absolutely we'll get a couple minutes on the Knicks. I absolutely love MIKAL Bridges just because I was hearing somebody talk about this. I don't even know who it was on a podcast, but it was like if you think about like what the Knicks team would be like and like a Thibodeau team, like this is it. Like straight defenders, like it's not like big name guys. It's just like hard dudes who just work hard, defend, lock up, like not like an old star and all that shit. So like Michael Bridges fits perfect. He's a
Hmm.
just a huge upgrade from like I mean, I think he's better than OG Anunoby, and he's probably second best player on their team right now. He is the second best player. So, but yeah, they got Josh Hart, DiVincenzo, the Nova boys. Like the Knicks are looking great, and
They are.
I mean,
They
they're
got all these
ready for the
forwards.
future.
They got all these forwards, yeah, to match up with the Celtics.
Right.
Um, but if I was just thinking, I mean, if you look at Brunson, he got better after he got to the Knicks. Josh Hart, he's more talked about and got better when he got to the Knicks. Um, Mikal Bridges and Hartenstein, or Mikal Bridges, I mean, that could be him. Hartenstein got better when he got to the Knicks.
Yep.
DiVincenzo got better when he got to the Knicks. Deuce McBride's making a name for himself. So, I mean, I think Thibodeau likes the team that he has, and he's definitely happy about the
Yeah.
Bridges
And
Bridges get. I mean, that's a big get. And of course, and obviously we've talked about how their wings are getting set up for the Celtics. And I mean, they have everything they need except maybe like a lob threat big guy.
yeah,
But the
exactly.
Nova Knicks are here, and they're definitely a top. If you want to rank the East teams, I mean, they're definitely a top three team in the East now for sure.
Yeah,
If
for
they weren't
sure.
already,
And they just got 100% better. But
yeah,
yeah, also they just play their role well. Like what do you call it? The Nova guys. Like that's what I like about Josh Hart so much. It like he's not taking shitty shots. He's not a ball hog. And their chemistry is off the charts. Two natties in college. They're ready. They're all best friends. Like this
yeah,
shit actually works out. We saw. And now
they
they
all know their role.
Michael was the highest draft pick of all of them coming out of college, and like
Yeah.
he's been the second best guy in the league of the Nova guys, besides Jalen Brunson, obviously. So
Hmm.
dude, they're ready to cook. Top three team in the East for sure, and they're coming for the Celtics' ass.
Yeah, and
They're
I
coming
mean they
for
haven't.
their ass.
They are, and
Pause.
I mean that's another squad that
Pause. But
they
they,
have. They have options with their starting five too. I mean, do you start DiVincenzo at the two? Or do you start Randall at the five? I mean, obviously Brunson's starting at the one, McCall on a wing, OG starting. I mean, their death lineup's going to be there's his contract, but
yeah, I had to look this up
you could start Brunson at the one, DiVincenzo at the two, Bridges, OG, Randall. I mean, that could be their death lineup at least in the playoffs against the Celtics.
for sure. And
I
I mean,
mean,
yeah,
that's
like
lethal.
I mean, I could see them keeping Randall, but also like, I mean, shoot, he gonna be have to be in their body in the big guys, but they still need a center. I guess re-sign Mitchell, but there's just so many traits about
Yeah.
Mitchell
For the
Robinson,
regular season, you need a
or so
center. I
many,
mean,
so many thoughts about Mitchell Robinson maybe leaving. But all right,
hmm.
yeah, we also got to talk a little. The Nuggets are kind of losing their guys, KCP to the Magic,
Yeah.
and they haven't really done much. So, I mean, what do you think about the old
And
Nuggets, dude? They're
I
not getting
mean,
better.
yeah, looks like KCP wasted no time trying to get a bag. I mean, he deserved the money. He's been a great role player for the Nuggets.
Magic.
Um, but
Wow.
yeah, he's going to the Magic on an up and coming team. I think it makes sense. It's kind of like what PG did. I mean, they're leaving the team, but you're going to
Yeah.
go join a new team that's up and coming and has a lot of potential. And I think he fits the Magic. But talking about the Nuggets, I mean, yeah, so last year after they won a championship, they let Bruce Brown go. And then this year they let KCP go.
And that hurt him.
I
And that
mean, yeah, but they just did sign Jamal Murray to an extension. They're obviously going to have to pay Jokic money every time he wants money. They have those two. They're obviously going to keep Gordon and Porter, but this year showed more than last year that you need those role players, and they had them when they won it all. With Bruce Brown coming off the bench, they had KCP knocking down threes because their stars create so much space. But they're definitely going to need to sign some guys. I mean, they're letting people go. I think they're going to sign some guys in free agency. I don't know really what they need. I guess they're going to need shooting to replace KCP, um, because they got guys that
they're
create
done.
space, as I
Or
said. But
he's gone.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
gone. So I mean, I don't know who they need. They definitely need
We're
shooting.
cooking. I think we out of here now.
All
Uh,
right,
we'll be back with the power rankings,
all right,
the NBA teams.
yes, sir. Sounds good. Peace.
We out of here, bro.